Welcome to the March edition of Click and Connect, whereby we provide you with beneficial Social Security information and interactively engage with you through our live question and answer segment. We remain committed to educating our insured members on all things Social Security. Through education, you are empowered and aware of your benefit entitlements and rights and responsibilities throughout life's stages. Today's presentation is about invalidity benefit. As an overview, I will discuss what invalidity benefit is, the importance of determining entitlement to the benefit, the required documents when applying, and the options available to you when submitting an invalidity benefit claim. Let's begin by defining an invalid. An invalid, as cited in the Social Security Act, is an insured person incapable of work as a result of a specific disease or bodily or mental disablement, which is likely to be permanent and who has been so incapable for a period of not less than 26 consecutive weeks immediately preceding the week in which the benefit is claimed. I want you to focus on the key words I mentioned in the definition of an invalid. Those words are insured person, incapable of work, disease or bodily or mental disablement, and permanent. These words will be beneficial as you internalize the content I share. Now, we all know that life is uncertain and unpredictable. Still, with Social Security coverage, you can be comforted knowing that once eligible, you are provided with income to supplement your financial needs due to your inability to work as an invalid. Invalidity benefit is paid as a one-time grant or as a monthly pension. The evaluation of how the benefit is paid comes from determining entitlement to the benefit through qualifying conditions. Determining eligibility for invalidity benefit is significant because given the permanent nature of the disease, bodily or mental disablement, it is in the best interest of the insured person to receive a pension and not a grant. Determination of eligibility for invalidity benefit is best described in three scenarios. Scenario 1, you are employed, you are under 60 years of age, your illness has been present for at least 26 consecutive weeks, and you have been submitting your medical certificates to SSB since the onset of your illness. You have the right to apply for invalidity benefit. Scenario 2, you are employed, you are under 60 years of age, and you have exhausted the 234 days payable as sickness benefit. An insured member who has been receiving sickness benefit for 234 days is an indication of a specific disease, bodily or mental disablement that may be permanent, and as such, this insured member has the right to claim invalidity benefit if their illness has now made them permanently incapable of work. And scenario 3, you are not employed, however, you are under 60 years of age, you've contributed to SSB in the past, you have more than 26 contributions, and you have been ill for at least 26 weeks with a chronic disease, illness, or disability which is rendering you permanently incapable of performing any type of work. You too have the right to submit a claim for invalidity benefit. In short, insured members who have contributed to the fund and are now suffering from a disease, illness, or disability that renders them incapable of performing any type of work have the right to submit a claim to Social Security for invalidity benefit. With the explanation of who has the right to claim for invalidity benefit, the subsequent action is understanding when you can submit a claim for invalidity benefit. A claim for invalidity benefit is to be submitted within 13 weeks after your 26 weeks of consecutive incapacity, or within 13 weeks after you've exhausted the 234 days payable as sickness benefit. You are securing your timely cash benefit payments by submitting your claim on time. Upon submitting a claim for invalidity benefit, you are to submit a fully completed invalidity benefit claim form, a valid ID and primary document to confirm your name, identity, and age. The valid ID can be your social security card accompanied by your valid passport or your birth certificate and your social security card. Additionally, you are to present a completed employment declaration form detailing your employment history and proof of your banking information. These forms and additional information on invalidity benefit can be found on our website at socialsecurity.org.bz under the Forms tab, or you can access a hard copy of the application forms at the Social Security branch office nearest you. In the list of documents I recently stated, you'll note that I did not reference a medical report as a required document. This is because if you have been on sickness benefit for 234 days, or if you have been submitting medical certificates accounting for the 26 weeks of consecutive illness, there will be existing evidence of your illness within SSB's records, and that evidence will be used to support your claim in establishing the period of illness. Alternatively, suppose you know that you are not submitting consecutive sickness benefit claim forms detailing your chronic disease, illness, or disability, which renders you permanently incapable of performing any type of work. In that case, a medical report is required from your treating doctor or the medical institution where you sought previous medical attention for your illness. The medical report should include your medical history, diagnosis, medical encounter dates, and/or hospitalization periods. You can also submit a copy of any prescriptions, laboratory studies, or bills to support your medical history, diagnosis, and work incapacity, which now renders you permanently incapable of work. The request for these documents is to aid in the determination of how severe your illness is and your inability to resume work. All documents submitted to SSB will be used to guide the decision that will be made on your claim. The submission options available to you when submitting your claim for invalidity benefit includes in-office submission at any branch office during normal working hours, or you can utilize the Dropbox service whereby you'll deliver your application package with the required correspondences in the slot conveniently located outside of the branch office. The Dropbox service is only available outside of working hours. Additionally, if due to your incapacity, you are not well enough to mobilize to our offices, you can have someone act on your behalf and submit your documents. We are here for you during difficult circumstances. After the timely submission of your invalidity benefit claim form, you will be referred to a medical board organized by Social Security. The medical board will examine you to confirm your medical condition and the permanent status of your incapacity. You are to present all medical documentation. If the medical board confirms that you are unable to work due to your chronic disease, illness, or disability, your application will go through due processing to determine if you qualify for an invalidity pension based on the number of contributions you have. Qualifying for a monthly invalidity pension requires you to have at least 150 contributions since 1981 and 250 contributions in the past 5 years, or have 150 contributions since 1981 and 5 recently paid contributions in the 13 weeks immediately before the sickness led to invalidity. For clarity, 1 contribution is the equivalent of 1 week of work. If you do not have the required contributions but you have at least 26 contributions, you may qualify for a one-time payment as an invalidity grant. Invalidity benefit is important because it provides financial support when bodily ailments prevent you from working. If you know your rights and your responsibilities as an insured member, You are empowered with knowledge, and you can combat life's unpredictability during health crises. If you would like additional support in applying for invalidity benefit, know that we are happy to help. Our customer care team is here for you. You can contact us via email at info@socialsecurity.org.bz. You can message us on WhatsApp at 639-5745. You can chat with us on Facebook at SSB Belize or via our website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Welcome back to Click and Connect. If you're just joining us, the conversation surrounds invalidity benefit. The SSB representative with me today is Mrs. Marie Chavarria, and Mrs. Chavarria is our benefits manager. Mrs. Chavarria is an expert in her area, and she is here to provide responses to all the questions that you've been posting so far. So without any further delay, let's get into your questions.
Good evening.
The first I have, Mrs. Chavarria, is from Aisha Gladden. Aisha says, I am an amputee almost for 3 years. I tried to apply for invalidity and to no avail.
Good evening, Miss. What's
Aisha. Her name
Miss
is
Aisha. Kindly contact our customer services agents so that we can look into your claim and we can address your question specifically with you.
Yes, Aisha. So what you can do is you can send us a WhatsApp message at 639-5745. Just give us your name, your social security number, and we will look into the details surrounding your case, and we will provide you with an update later on, okay? So please go ahead and do that so we can look into the details surrounding your case.
Yeah.
So we have another one from Striker Cantun, and Striker wants to know if invalidity benefit is the same as contributed pension.
When you contribute to the scheme, you contribute to many benefits that the Social Security offers. It offers sickness benefit, injury benefit, and maternity benefit, funeral grant, and it also offers long-term benefits such as retirement, invalidity, death benefit, and disablement benefit, which may occur as a result of an unemployment injury. So yes, all contributions that you do have certain qualifying conditions for each benefit claim. Today we are here to speak up specifically about invalidity.
Yes.
And we will entertain any questions in relations to invalidity. In the future, we may be able to further speak about other benefits because it is in our interest to ensure that you are aware of what are your rights and responsibility as an insured person when it comes to all your benefits once you have contributed to the Social Security scheme.
All right, so the takeaway here for Striker would be that invalidity benefit is one of our benefits that are available for persons who contribute to the Social Security Fund.
Right.
So that's just one of the many that we offer. So anybody who contributes and they meet the qualifying conditions, then they would be eligible to receive one of our benefits, Striker. All right.
You contribute, let me just emphasize, Moiva. When you contribute to retirement benefit, and retirement benefit, you are able to access retirement benefit at the age of 60 to 65. If you if you become unable to work before the age of 60, then then you can claim invalidity benefit, as we have showed previously in the presentation that we have shared.
So it's safe to say that the availability of these benefits, it's a safety net for all those insured members. It's a safety net for them, given the various unpredictable challenges and changes that we experience in life.
Yes, we know that it may happen that you become ill and unable to work before you reach the age of retirement. Therefore, that is where we have the invalidity benefit for which you can access once you have contributed to the scheme.
All right, well, that actually leads us right into the next question from Kelly Flores. She wants to know, how many years does someone have to be paying Social Security to be accepted for retirement from work if the individual has a permanent disability? So I'm thinking that the notion of retirement, she's basically referring to the person not working anymore, but they have a permanent disability. So she wants to know, how many years does that person need to be paying Social Security for?
Retirement.
To qualify for retirement if they have a permanent disability. So definitely there is that age factor at play.
she's asking two things though, disability and retirement, and I'm going to talk about retirement. For retirement purposes, you must have at least 500 contributions to qualify for a pension. And as I mentioned before, you can claim for retirement benefit as early as 60. If you decide to retire and do not want to continue working, you can claim your retirement benefit as early as 60. Between 60 to 64. At the age of 65, you are entitled to your retirement benefit based on whatever number of contributions that you have made to the scheme since the scheme started in 1981. And as I mentioned, you must have 500 to qualify for a pension. If you do not qualify for a pension, then you would get paid a grant based on the number of contributions that you have contributed throughout the years.
Yes, and Kelly, just to further emphasize, 500 contributions is the equivalent of about 10 years of working and of paying Social Security contributions. So that 10-year, that would qualify you for a retirement pension. Anything under, anything under 500 contributions but over 26, that would make you eligible to receive a retirement grant.
And just to touch a little bit on disability, although we are today talking about invalidity, a disability benefit may stem from as a result of an employment injury. If you have an employment injury, an accident at work, you have the right to make an injury benefit claim. And if as a result of that injury benefit claim you become disabled, you may be entitled to disability. So that's another benefit that Social Security offers stemming from an employment injury, just to touch on that.
Alrighty. So Viola Robinson wants to know, when will this be available?
This benefit has been available since 1981. For you to qualify for an invalidity benefit, you must have at least contributed 26 contributions to the scheme since 1981. Once you have worked, that means once you have worked for at least 6 months since 1981, if you become ill and unable to work, you have the right to make an invalidity claim.
All right, so Striker is back with a follow-up question, and they want to know, apart from this referring to invalidity benefit, do you provide help for medicine and personal supplies for an invalid person? I'm not speaking about the invalidity benefit. So they want to know if we provide support for medicine and personal supplies.
No. Medical care is not covered under the invalidity benefit. Under invalidity benefit, it's only the weekly benefit that will be payable if you are entitled to a pension or a grant. Medical expenses are not covered. It's only the injury benefit based on the number of contributions that you made to the scheme and based on your insurable earnings that you paid throughout the years.
Yeah.
Invalidity pension, just to emphasize, is once it's allowed, it's payable for life.
Yes, and it is there to supplement that loss of income that you would have encountered, given
Since
that
you'll
you're
be
now,
unable to be
yes, you are unable to work now. So it's that supplemental income that you'd be receiving through invalidity benefit.
Right.
All right, we have another question from Ms. Duran. She wants to know, how long does the application take to process the application for invalidity benefit? How long does it take?
Presently, we are doing our earnest best to process the claim within 25 days, provided that you submit to us a complete claim. There is delays when the claim is not complete. If you submit the claim complete with all the relevant documents and information that we require at the point of submission, we should be able to process that claim within 25 working days.
All right, and I have a follow-up to that. Do we offer any expedited services in terms of benefit processing depending on the situation?
We do our utmost best to process the claim, bearing in mind the limitations that we have in processing. One of the things that mainly affects us in delaying the processing of invalidity pension is this research of contributions. We have to ensure that we do our research and account for all the contributions that you may have contributed since 1981 to ensure that we pay your benefit due as per contributions made
so
to the scheme.
That research that happens, it has to do with the fact that when applying for the benefit, that person has to complete an employment declaration form and they have to indicate all the places where they've worked.
Right.
Now, if when we're vetting the application, we notice that, all right, Mr. John Doe said, I worked at perhaps Westrack in
Right.
1992, but there's no record of that on his in his benefit record. So then that's where that research factor would come into play.
Manual research
Yes.
has to be conducted to ensure that we account for all the contributions to ensure we pay whatever benefit is due.
Yes,
you're
and I think
entitled
what
to.
we could also emphasize and promote to our viewers is for them to be sure to check their contribution history regularly. You know, you can fill out the form, you can apply for your contribution history, and as one of the service enhancements coming soon for the Social Security Board, those contributions would be made readily available to the insured member by using their My Social Security portal account.
Yes, we're working on an improved system for us to be able to enhance our delivery time.
Yes.
We're working on that this year, and that should be coming up this year, and hopefully we'll be able to process those claims quicker and sooner, since we'll be once we have the data available and we have all the contributions available to make an accurate payment to you, then we'll be able to provide you that service quicker.
Wonderful. So we have one here from Eddie. Eddie says, what if you got sick at the age of 16? Do you still qualify? What if you got sick? Let's presume that he's referring to an illness or an incapacity that is of a permanent nature. He wants to know if that happens at 16 years of age. Would he qualify for invalidity benefit?
You are insurable with the scheme once you work from the age of 14. For you to qualify for sickness benefit, you must have at least 50 contributions paid. So you must have worked at least for an year. And before you become ill or before your first day of incapacity, you must have at least 5 recent contributions in the 13 weeks prior to that date of incapacity for you to qualify for sickness benefit. But once you're working and you're over the age of 14 and over, your employer should be paying contributions on your behalf, and once you have contributed at least 50 contributions, as I mentioned, you should be able to qualify for sickness benefit if you become sick. And you may become terminally ill too. It can happen. You have some young people that end up with diagnosed with cancer and unfortunately become permanently unable to work. So it as long as you're below the age of 60 and you become permanently incapable of working and you're deemed an invalid, then you can claim for the benefit, and once you have contributed to the scheme, whatever benefit you're entitled to, we will make sure that you get.
Yes. Righty. So we have one here from Scortopian Queen Rhonda. She wants to know if a person who took a laminotomy, excuse me for that, laminotomy. You familiar with that term? Okay, maybe a misspelling. And also has incontinence since surgery. All right, so we're making the connection now.
Okay.
And suffers from anxiety. Is that considered disability? So we have 3 medical conditions at play. We have anxiety, incontinence, and we have laminotomy.
Any incapacity from work has to be certified by a medical practitioner. That is not the onus on Social Security, for Social Security to determine. Any incapacity from work has to be certified by your treating doctor. And it is your treating doctor that will determine whether you're permanently incapable of work as a result of whatever sickness or disability. When I say disability, is that you can have injuries that may have not been as a result of your employment. Any chronic diseases that you may have may render you permanently incapable of work. It's the physician or your treating doctor that has to make that certification to enable you to make that invalidity claim as long as you're below the age of 60. Once you submit a claim, that is, you are referred to a medical board for them to confirm your medical condition or your diagnosis or whatever illnesses you have, and for them to confirm that you are permanently incapable of work. If you're deemed permanently incapable of work, then and you are entitled to the benefit, we determine if a pension or a grant is payable.
All right.
So you have the right to claim once you're below the age of 60. Bear in mind your conditions that you are referring to us. If you are unable to work because of these conditions, you have the right to make an invalidity claim.
All right, so we have another one from Ms. Shadaliho, and she wants to know how many contributions do you need to have to qualify for invalidity?
For invalidity, you must have at least, as we mentioned before, at least 26 contributions paid since the scheme started in 1981. If you work from going back, we look back at all your contributions and we pay based on the number of contributions that you have paid throughout the years.
All right, we have one from Elbia Artiga. She wants to know what happens to pensions if the person has moved to another country. What happens to pensions if the person has moved to another country?
We don't pay pensions abroad, but if you have an account in Belize, we continue making repayments to that account, and then you will have to see how you can access your funds in Belize. We don't make any payments abroad, but you can access we continue making payments to whatever bank account you have in Belize.
Yeah, and just dependent on the scenario that she may have been referring to. If the person perhaps was already they've already applied, they're receiving their benefit, but they moved abroad, that continues, correct? The person's benefit will continue. Long-term benefit.
Long-term benefit.
Yes. If, let's say, somebody has qualified for retirement benefit, they went through all the necessary paperwork, they're in receipt of the retirement benefit, and they decide to move abroad. So that person still continues to receive their retirement benefit.
Yes, to the approved bank account.
Yes.
To the bank account.
And their responsibility would be to fill out their life declaration forms every June and every December for the continuation.
As it relates to the customer with the question that if the person is abroad, if they have any difficulties in getting in a bank account, we do make an exception in some cases that we may be able to make a check and for them to be able to collect at any given time if they can come in every 6 months to collect their benefit, to ensure that they get their benefit. If they have any issues in collecting their pension locally, contact us and we'll see what the situation is, and then make payment arrangements with them. But we try to work with the customer.
Additional guidance could be provided. All right. Anna Melendez, she wants to know, how can you know how many contributions you have paid into Social Security? All right, so this is related to contributions, not necessarily invalidity, but we can still provide the support.
Yes, we can answer the question. How do you know how many contributions you have?
Yes.
Okay. In the website, we have a form available called Employment Declaration, or ED1. You need to complete that form, and you can submit it to the nearest branch office. When we receive it, we look at again, a research is conducted to ensure that we can account for all the contributions that we have for you, and we further respond to you in writing, giving you details of the number of contributions that you have in the system. But an enhancement coming soon.
Yeah.
You soon in the new platform that we're doing. You will soon be able to view your contributions. And
right
that's
at your
coming
fingertips.
That's coming up soon, and you'll be able to view your contributions online. And if for any reason you see that your employer is not contributing for the period that you're working, you can make a query with Social Security. You can make a declaration of employment, whereby we follow up and ensure that the employer pays for whatever contributions, whatever period you may have worked.
All right, we have a follow-up from Ms. Anna, and this is a very good one. She wants to know what's the difference between invalidity benefit and disability benefits.
Okay. Invalidity benefit stems from sickness benefit. If you become ill for whatever reason and you are working, you have the right and responsibility to make a sickness benefit claim. If for sickness under sickness benefit, we pay a maximum of 234 sickness benefit days if you are sick for that entire period. After that, you have the right to make an invalidity. So invalidity stems from whatever illness, natural illness, any injuries that you did not sustain at work, or any chronic diseases that you may have that led you to invalidity or led you to being permanently unable to work. So sickness benefit leads to invalidity. For disability, as I mentioned before, you must have suffered an employment injury, and became disabled as a result of the employment injury. And under employment injury, we also pay the injury benefit days for you to recover from the injury. And after 156 days of injury benefit days paid, you have the right to make a disablement claim if you are disabled as a result of the employment injury.
Yeah, and I think another important distinguishing factor for us to let them know is that with invalidity, you're no longer able to work. You're incapable of working at this point in time, but with disability that stems from an employment injury, yes, you're getting a percentage, so you can still continue working.
To compensate you for the loss of faculty as a result of the injury, but you can continue working, provided you are not 100% disabled.
All right, so we have one from Cheryl's Guerra. She wants to know, what does someone with COPD can benefit? So essentially, she's asking how or if someone with COPD symptoms can benefit. This has to do with persons who have chronic cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, wheezing.
Again, if that is preventing you from working, if that is rendering you incapable of working, and you're below the age of 60, you have the right to make an invalidity claim. Ensure that if you are unable to work due to COPD or the illness that you're having, certify your incapacity. If you're employed, submit your sickness benefit claims on time. You have 14 days to submit your sickness benefit time. It is only after 26 weeks of sickness benefit or sick days that you can claim for invalidity. So the advice is make your claim, and let us be the one to determine whether you're entitled to the benefit or not, provided you have contributed to the scheme. Again, the medical professionals will need to determine whether you are unable to work and whether you are unable to permanently perform any type of work.
All right, we have a very good question from Miss Shadali Ho. She wants to know, can you choose between getting a grant or a monthly payment once you are qualified for invalidity?
Okay. Once you qualify for the benefit, and I think in the presentation we went over what you need to be entitled to the benefit, you must have at least 26 weeks of incapacity prior to the time that you make the claim, and you must be below the age of 60, and you must be permanently unable to work. You focus on the question again.
Sure, no problem. Yes, so she's asking if you can choose between getting a pension or a grant.
Right. As per legislation, we need to first determine if you qualify for a pension. If you qualify for a pension, we go ahead and we pay a pension, and that is based on the number of contributions that you may have contributed. And if you don't qualify for a pension, it is only then that a grant is payable as guided by legislation.
Yes. All right, and what are some of the benefits for the insured member to receive the pension versus the grant?
One of the benefits in as it relates to the pension, it's the invalidated pension is paid for life. And the grant is a one lump sum payment based on whatever number of contributions that you may have contributed. That is a one lump sum, and that is no more. The only other benefit that would be payable after that would be a funeral grant to cover funeral expenses as a result of your death.
All right, Ms. Shirley's question brought us to the end. Let's see if we have any more questions. So just check our feed to be sure, because we don't want to miss any important question today. All right, we have one from B. Rose. Let's say, for example, you get a fracture at work, like a broken leg. Am I qualified for an invalidity benefit, and how much will I get, or does it depend on the contributions I made? So she received a fracture, and that happened at work, a broken leg, and now she wants to know if she qualifies for invalidity benefit.
If you had a fracture and it happened at work, then you should have done an injury benefit claim. And if you develop a disability as a result, or there is loss of function as a result of the fracture, because it could be a really bad fracture that enables you to return to work or prevents you to do your work the way you used to do it before. You get a disability, you make a disablement claim, and you would be assessed, and a percentage of disability would be awarded based on the disability. But if the invalidity, as I mentioned before, stems from any illness, natural illness or chronic illness, or any injuries that did not occur at your work.
Right. We have another one from Ali. Ali wants to know, can children with disabilities benefit from disability or invalidity benefit via their legal guardian contributions? So again, can children with disabilities benefit from the disability or invalidity benefit using the contributions of their legal guardians?
When you, as an insured person, contribute to the scheme, coverage extends to your survivors. So if you die, it covers for your dependents. It's for your children below the age of 18 if they're going to school, and below the between 18 and 21 if they're below the age of 18. It doesn't matter whether they're going to school or not. From between 18 and 21, if they're attending school,
Yes.
it covers survivor benefit for those children, and it covers for children that are deemed permanently unable to care for themselves. They are deemed dependents of the contributor,
The insured.
and they may qualify for survivor benefit if the contributor dies.
Yes, but if the contributor is very much alive and well, they cannot use their contributions for a dependent. The
No,
contribution
it only covers
belongs to the insured
survivor
member.
benefit in case you die.
Yes, and so they had another portion of that where they want to know if it compromises the pension benefit of the legal guardians. So I think we
That would be a no.
clarified that,
Mhm,
yeah,
yeah. Mhm.
because they wouldn't qualify
No.
if the insured is
No.
very much alive. All right, let me see if we have any more.
This is an opportunity for you guys to ask your questions. It is in our interest to ensure that everybody is aware of what are their rights and responsibilities as contributors of the scheme, and the questions are welcome. We're hoping that we can continue these sessions. We try to keep all the customers informed through the different
Yes, absolutely.
media, through the website. Information is there. Through our customer service agents, you can also, if you have any questions, you can have at any time check with them and ask the questions, and we'll be more than willing. We're here to serve you, and we're here to make sure that you benefit from whatever contributions you have made to the scheme and to whatever benefits you're entitled to.
Yeah, because knowledge is power, right?
Right? Mhm.
By them being informed about what Social Security is, the options available to all our insured members, then of course that puts them in the best position to receive their due entitlements. So
Right.
that's excellent for them to
Yes.
know as well. And as Mrs. Chavarria mentioned, we have various methods of communication. So if you would like to reach out to us, or if you would like any more information, you can visit our website at socialsecurity.org.bz. We also have e-service channels available. So you can reach out to us via email at info@socialsecurity.org.bz. You can even send us a WhatsApp message at 639-5745, or you can chat with us online. So we are here for you to provide responses, to address any of your concerns or your queries, or you can even give us a telephone call at 822-2163. Your Social Security exists for you.
Yes. As it relates to invalidity claims, the offices are now opening and accepting the claims. So you can drop in your claim in the office during working hours, and after working hours you can drop off the claim in the drop box.
Yes.
We know that sometimes the invalidity pension, the insured person who is ill may not be able to personally visit the
mobile,
office
yes.
and submit. You have people that have stroke that are unable to move, but someone can help you. And your friend, your neighbor, your next of kin, your wife, somebody can assist you in submitting the complete claim to Social Security. We would not know what is your medical condition unless you submit a claim. It is your right to make a claim, but it's also your responsibility to submit your claim and submit your claim on time.
Timely and accurately.
And
Very
accurately,
important.
make sure you submit all the documents that are required so that we can process your claim as soon as possible. It is our responsibility to give you a decision in writing. If you're not satisfied with the decision that we give you on any claim, you have the right to appeal. and it goes to the appeal process, and it to determine if we were correct in whatever decision that we made.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, we all know Social Security, it's a lot, it's a large topic, and that's why we're here for them if they need that additional support, or if we need to simplify any other concept
Exactly.
or any notion that is needed. So that brings us to the end. I'd like to say thank you so much for posting all your questions. It was a very interactive and engaging discussion today. And those of you who did post a question, your names will be entered in a raffle to win a prize. We'll be selecting 4 lucky winners. So please stay connected to our Facebook page where we will be posting the winners. So until we connect with you next time, thanks for being here and have a wonderful
Thanks, Moira.
evening. Thank you too.
Thank you.